5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
From the most infectious city in the world, it's the Ramble with Alex Bennett. And we're here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Ladies and gentlemen, he's incarcerated. And his name is Larry Bubbles Brown.
America held hostage, day number 31.
Yeah, hot sausage. Yeah.
God. So I don't know who's locked down worse, me or you, but I heard New York's pretty bad.
Well, I haven't gone out. I went out the other day. We went to get a local restaurant. We wanted to help them out, so we ordered out, and we got some food from him. And we had to walk up there to get it, of course, and that was me out for the first time in 2 weeks.
Wow, that's incredible. I'd be insane.
Yeah.
So you got a big place.
Well, we got a big place, and if we get on each other's nerves at all, she can go into one room, I can go to another, you know. We've got 3 comfortable rooms to watch television in. So, you know, but I'm getting sick of watching television. That's what I'm getting sick of.
Yeah, you start to run out of things.
You know, it's getting absolutely weird and ridiculous. So, I'm going a little batty here, you know, and I always wait for the Grim Reaper to tap on my shoulder, you know, so, but, you know, if you're not going out and, you know, you're careful about everything, I guess you're going to be okay. I mean, whenever we get a delivery and it comes in boxes, we spray the boxes down with disinfectant before we open them, you know, and, you know, I mean, we have to order out. Like, I just ordered out to Costco. All right? Because there's a delivery service that will go to Costco, shop for you, and then bring it to your house. Not for an insignificant charge, I might add. It's going to cost me about $40 to do that, maybe 50. But at least I can get some of the things from Costco, like the large flats of soda and so on that you know, that I usually buy. And I don't want to go over to Costco. I consider that a living petri dish. You know? So I don't go out there, and so they're delivering me. So I ordered, I ordered on, I think it was Sunday, maybe Monday. Yeah, Monday. But what's today? I don't even know what today is. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm losing track of the days. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll probably play this on a day other than Tuesday so folks don't. But, you know, you lose all track of what day it is.
Yeah.
But I think I did this on Sunday, and the delivery day is for next Saturday. You know, it's not like you can get...
No, and I think Amazon's weeks behind now.
Oh, yeah. Certain things you want from Amazon you can get in a couple of days, and then others you can't. All right? It's, you know, they have not been able to keep up. Plus, a lot of the Amazon centers are out on strike, or people are refusing to come to work because they consider it unsafe working conditions. We're in the middle of this every science fiction movie you ever saw about the end of the world.
I know.
This is it. You know.
Some psychologists said that 5 weeks is about the most people can take like this before they start to snap.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to start seeing crime in the streets. You know, people going batty. People, you know, mugging people for toilet paper. It's crap like that, you know?
Yeah, and don't you think there's some constitutional issues involving this? Like the governor in Michigan says, oh, if you got a second home, you can't go to the home. And
Well, you know, I think that there are exceptions that can be made, but he would have to put the state under martial law, I think, in order to do that. But, you know, when he says that, people shouldn't get mad. People should abide by it. Because here in New York, the numbers are not the number of deaths, but the number of intubations and people entering into the hospitals has been diminishing rather well. And that's because we've been staying indoors and because we've been distancing ourselves and because we've been wearing masks. You go out on the street now. When I was walking up and down the street going to go get the food the other day, which was my first time out, almost everybody was wearing masks. Almost everyone. I was jealous of some of them because they had nicer masks than I did. Because now you're going to start seeing fashion masks coming out, you know.
part of beautifying America. Everyone has a mask.
Right. And, you know, I mean, the only thing that we've got going here in New York that I say thank goodness for, and I was never a big fan of him, but Mario Cuomo has just been doing a fabulous job. I mean, every day he gives a speech, and every day it's got humanism in it, and it's got reality in it, and he doesn't, you know, gloss it over and say everything's going to be wonderful in a couple of weeks, folks. No, he's saying stay the course, stay in, because if, you know, things are getting a little bit better, but if tomorrow you decide that, well, okay, I guess okay for me to go outside now and not invoke close, you know, distancing rules and things like that, he said, it's coming right back. He said, so, you know, we've got to stay the course here. And he's very calming in that way, not because he's lying to you, but because you have the sense he's telling you the truth, because he's not sugarcoating any of the information. And that's what a leader should do. And he's just an absolutely perfect leader. And that's okay, you know. So I'm very happy with the way he's handling this. We look forward every day at 11:30. Marjorie says to me, "Is he on yet?" You know.
Really?
Yeah. And then every night at 6:00 we get the clown show. You know, which now we're recording this. It doesn't matter when we're recording, but he did this clown show in which he ran a video that he made showing how he was okay, you know, how he was terrific, and it was a 2-hour, what they said, coronavirus update is what they called it, and for all the 2 hours he talked about him. Now, what kind of leadership is that, especially in a time of crisis, when you need a president who's going to make it isn't a matter of calming you down, it's making you feel that something's being done and that there's somebody at the helm who has a certain humanity about him, whose heart is going out to the fact that so many people are dying, you know. And I get that every day from Cuomo. He comes from an Italian family to begin with, and they all wear their hearts on their sleeves, you know. But I mean, we're not getting the leadership in this country we should be getting in something like this. And yes, he's doing a few things, but he's lying about most of them, and it's horrible. So that means that Larry Bubbles Brown has to stay at home. And let's now talk about your home for a moment. Let's describe what you've got there. It's more like a jail cell, isn't it?
It's a jail cell, yeah.
Yeah, how big? How many,
waiting for them to shove the food under the door.
How many square feet is it?
It's probably 500.
500. It's not bad. It's not great. I had a 650 square foot apartment downtown, and if I had to be there right now, I think after 2 weeks I'd be killing Marjorie.
Oh, yeah.
Or she'd be killing me.
They said that they think domestic violence and people beating their kids is going to be through the roof pretty soon.
Now, I'm here in a 2,500 square foot apartment. And
which is huge.
Yeah. So if I'm going to be confined to an apartment, you know, if you're going to put the ankle bracelet on me, here better than there, okay? Plus, now, let's look at this a little further. Mr. Brown has never been into technology.
No.
So therefore...
I've got no cable, no internet.
He's got no cable. He's got no internet.
I got dial-up.
So what do you do with your day?
Well, I don't stay here. I go out. I do go out. So.
You do go out. Where do you go?
Yeah. I've been going over Marin a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Try to read and write. So.
Yeah.
It's good to get out in the light. So I think you need some sunshine, so you should get out a little.
Yeah, well, so you get in your car and you go out to Marin.
And I run. I'm still running. So.
Do you have a face mask?
No.
No.
I think they're mandatory in L.A.
Yeah.
And that they may become mandatory here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Remember the first, you don't need a face mask. Now you do need a face mask. So you get so much conflicting information.
Now, you're going, well, the face masks are necessary because of the distancing thing. If let's say the closest person to you is a block away, you don't need a mask. If he's even 24, 25 feet away, you don't need a mask. It's when people get closer that you need the mask, okay? And that's not only for your own good, but for the good of all the people around you as well. But now let me ask you, when you go to Marin, now let me explain Marin County to people who don't know what we're talking about. It's a county across the bay from San Francisco, and it's a rural community. All of it. I was raised there.
Wealthy rural community.
Wealthy rural community. When I was a kid, it was just a middle-class rural community.
Now you got to be very rich to live there.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but you have a lot of space there. In other words, when you talk about social distancing, you're talking about, like in New York, you've got a density of population. And so here it's very difficult. You go over to Marin, you could get out of your car and not see anybody for a block either way, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or what I suggested, what I was talking about the other night, is I said, what I would do is if I had a car, I'd get in the car and I'd go to the top of Mount Tamalpais and hang out there in the grass up on a hillside somewhere. No, that's not going to kill you.
No.
You know, so doing what you're doing is probably
fine.
Is fine, and probably you will not go nuts in that little apartment. But now imagine that you didn't own a car.
Then I'd be in trouble.
You'd be in trouble. But you know, I mean, everybody's social distancing anyway. But now you go. Okay, here's an example. You have to fill up your car with gas. You have to hold on to the pump and put the nozzle into the thing. How are they handling that?
Well, the way I've always done it, and they said I'm right, because the two germiest surfaces they found were ATM keypads and gas pump handles.
Oh, really? So what do you do?
Every time I get gas, I've done this for years, I always pull out a couple of paper towels and wrap those around the handle.
Oh, okay. That's a good way of handling it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're apparently incredibly germy.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that they were worried about, and you know, things that you touch. When I go out now, always wear rubber gloves. Okay. 2 reasons. Number one, it keeps the germs away, and if I need to give myself a prostate check, yeah, I've got the glove.
Or give one to a friend too.
give one to a friend, one that you've used and already stuck up your ass.
Well, the great thing about this, and Fauci said this yesterday. This might, which I can't stand. I can't stand doing this. They said this actually might end the handshake.
Yeah. Well, you never liked the handshake anyway, right?
No.
Hey, listen, guess what? We've already run out of time.
But not germs.
We do these little shorter ones, and they're terse and they're whatever. But I just want you to remain safe, and it sounds like you're doing that, and you're certainly not going to get terribly in terrible shape by going to Marin in your car and then going somewhere where there's nobody.
Yeah, well, let's hope they don't outlaw that.
And get a lot of sun. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown.
Still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Okay, there we go. All right. I was trying to get something going here, and I'm having trouble bringing it up. It's my screen with, here we go. There we go. All right. Because we have to look at our map every night here, see how many people are dead, how many people are going away. Let me see here. Let me also, I'll tell you, that's kind of cutting off there on the side. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. No. Oops. Let me see here. Let me just do this and bring this over just a tad. And then bring this down just a tad. There we go. I'm trying to get this so that it looks better, so you can see the whole damn thing. There we go. I think we're fine now. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Look at that. There's the world. 2.6 million people dead. Almost 2.7. It's getting there. It was 2.626929. Let's look at the United States, because that's what we really care about, right? Because we're so selfish, we only think about ourselves. Oh, by the way, look at this number of people dead up here. Yes, look at that. You can see my arrow. Okay, good. That's 183,283 people dead. No longer on the face of the earth. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. You know why? Because we have allergies going on here. I mean, as though the virus isn't enough, we've got the allergies. And I am a... Hold on, I got to turn off my mic. Look at the map while I'm sneezing, okay? All right. Anyway. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's go to the U.S. here and see what we're doing here. We have 840,897 people who have been diagnosed to have the coronavirus. That doesn't mean that we don't have over 1 million. These are just the people we've been able to test and find out about. Now, in New York City, okay, the amount of people dead is, ready for this, in New York City, 15,074. That's a lot of people. However, our number has gone down. Now, let me show you another number I just found today. This is a whole bunch of stuff about New York City, all right? And look at this. See how this started? That started all the way down over here, okay, all right? And then it went all the way up there and peaked at 543 in one day. Now, this is in New York City. This is not in the environs. This is not in all of New York. In all of New York today, the death was something like 430. I'm trying to remember exactly the number, but it's going down. It's still going down. But here in New York City, it has started going down and going down. This is the death rate in New York City. And what I found here, and I don't know if this is true, The day before it was 96. Now, this may just be too current a number, and they haven't adapted it and whatever. But if this is true, in New York City, we have only 9 people that died yesterday. Now, I don't know if that's true, but nevertheless, look at the way this thing has just gone down, 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 and that is all from staying indoors, folks. Now, here's the rates by borough. Now, you see, I know a lot of you around the country don't care about this, but I do because I live here, you know. And the rate per 100,000 people, you ready for this? This is very, very interesting, okay? This is a very interesting number. The Bronx has 2,115 people per 100,000 people, okay? Their total count, 31,130. These are people who've gotten the coronavirus. Staten Island, 10,405. Queens, which is kind of now considered to be the epicenter, in fact, Corona Queens, oddly enough, it is, let me see here, 42,637. Then we have Brooklyn, that's with 36,699. Manhattan has only had 17,495, and you would think we would be worse because it's the most dense place. Now, here's the part that depresses me. You know, I happen to be 80 years old, okay? All right? Rates by age. First of all, cases. Here we go up a little bit here, 46 to 64, 45 to 64, then 65 to 74 years old. Look at 75 years and older. It's, let's see here, 877.95. That's deaths. All right? Look at the difference. We had 109, 45 to 64, 65 to 74, 353, and there's me, 877 deaths in New York. These are also like the cases, okay, by age. For those of you who are not just listening to us but watching us, these are hospitalizations, okay? So 75 and older, there we are, man. It's like God's got a gun at my head, all right? And then we go to rates by sex, cases, female, men far outweigh women in cases. In hospitalizations, men outweigh women. And in deaths, men way outweigh women. So if you're a man, like I am, and you're 65 years or older, and you live in the Bronx, and well, you get it. But this is the number that's really good. This is the number. It's going down. It's going down. And this is just for Manhattan, okay? For New York rather. That's why I talked about Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Those are the boroughs of New York City. Okay, that's what it's all about, folks. That's our report for tonight. And I hope that wherever you are, you're staying safe, okay? Anyway, it's time for us to go talk to our citizen panel. And, oh, boy, I just have the allergies. They've just been, today was like 11.3 or something out of 12 for the whole thing. So anyway, where are we? Let me see here. Let me turn on the Skype. We use Skype here. We don't use Zoom. We can't use Zoom, really. I've played around with Zoom. I was on a Zoom call with about 20 other people the other day, and I tried recording it, and there was no way I could do the citizen panel using Zoom. It would just be too unwieldy. I'm waiting forever for Skype, though, to come up. Don't make me a big liar, Skype. There we go. Skype is coming up. Come on, Skype. Are you gonna? There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. It finally decided to get going here. And let's see here. Also, the line is on, so if you're looking, you can actually see that I'm there, and you can give me a call. And here, oh, wait a minute, that was Vernon. But then he, oh boy, I'll tell you, I'm having the same trouble I was having last night, the other night. Let me see here. Here comes, oh, there comes Jeff Zeller. Let me see what's happening here with the other people. Phil Meyer. Can I bring Phil in? There we go. Phil, are you in? No? Yeah, Phil is in. And let's see here. Rob Alfano. I'm going to click on him. We'll see if he comes up. I was having some trouble again tonight. I don't know why. Let me see here. Vernon. There we go with Vernon Nunn. And I think those were all the people. Now I got to give them all a place on the citizen panel. First of all, let me, oh, here we go. Brian Neary, he's calling. So he was in one space last night up there. So if he comes on, yeah, he'll come in there. So I got to put somebody in the number 2 spot, which will, well, we'll put, I think Charlie Wallace was in there somewhere. Cancel. Let me see here. All right, now hold on a second. I got to get these people in there. Why aren't these people coming up? Their pictures. There's Charlie's. Turn. Oh, Neary, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, I got my camera
Okay.
now.
Okay. Now your camera's on. Okay. Now I got to go here and figure out who I haven't put on here yet. Vernon was on last night. He's there. Jeff is there from last night. Do we have anybody else? Oh, I need to put Todd in there. So I'll put him in the number 4 spot. God, I'm glad all the same people called who called last night because it makes my life easier. Todd Moore.
We have nothing else to do.
Right, they have nothing. You know, once this whole thing is over and you people are going to have to go back to work and not work from home and everything, my life is going to be terrible with this show. I'll be sitting here with my finger up my ass saying, nobody's calling me anymore. You know. Hello, Rob. Hello, Vernon. Hello, Brian. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Phil. Hello, Jeff. I think I said everybody's name. How are you all? How are you all this evening?
Yeah, all right.
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So we're still getting along here. You know, the numbers are going down. Staying in seems to be working. So we'll see what happens.
Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah, let's go to Vegas. They're thinking of opening up Vegas again. I heard somewhere.
Yeah.
Are they going
Yeah.
to? Are they going to, or are they just talking about it?
She's talking about it, but she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She wants the casinos. She wants the casinos to deal with the social distancing.
Didn't some governor on some show, and I think it was the governor of Texas, say he would rather see the everything be back in business and the economy start rolling, even if it means some dead people?
Yeah, that was our lieutenant governor.
Sure, what's a few dead people?
Was that a lieutenant governor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dan
Wow.
Patrick.
Wow, that's the thing that I heard that he had said was, well, what's this going to do to future generations if we don't put everybody back to work now? So if that means we have to have a few dead people, so be it. Is this guy?
Him first.
Huh?
Yeah.
I said him first. I don't see him out there volunteering with the hospitals.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Rob. Hello, Vernon. Hello, Phil. How are you tonight?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, you're just waving?
Well, I've got a Kentucky update.
Oh, you have a Kentucky. Oh, yes, I saw you sent me something about Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
As of this afternoon, Kentucky has done a little over 36,000 tests. Of those tests, 3,373 have yielded positive results, and 185 people have died so far.
And they're going to reopen, right?
No.
No? Okay. Good.
We got a Democratic governor. We got a Democratic governor in Kentucky, but in Tennessee, Ohio, and Indiana, there are Republican governors, and their death rates are much higher than ours.
I don't understand. Phil, answer me this question. why does it
Sure.
matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat on what side of the issue of reopening these places you're on? I mean, is this? It can't possibly be that.
I don't think it matters. I know there's a number of people in my association that are staunch liberals, and they want to reopen in a manner that is safe. You need to clean the surfaces. You need to not go to work if you're sick. You need to ask people if they're okay. You need to wear masks and PPE. And you need to, fairly distance yourself from the other people. Now, there are some businesses that you really can't do that. I don't think bars should be open too quickly. I think restaurants have to modify, and I don't think it's a blue and red thing. Although I was wondering if what they were testing in Kentucky, Vernon, was how many Kentuckians have teeth.
Let me go to Charlie. He's got his hand up. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, the problem with not going to work if you're sick is you could be spreading the disease for 14 days, up to 14 days before you get sick.
Yeah,
so you got to do something better than just wait till you get sick and stay home from work.
Yeah, if you're wearing a mask as a preventative, and you're not touching surfaces that other people touch because you have gloves on.
Okay.
Are you going to spread the virus? Unless you take the mask off and you talk to someone and spittle comes out, then.
Todd, I'll go to you in a second, Todd. Hold on one second. The only answer I have to that, Phil, is human nature. And who are you going to leave this up to? The store owners to do all this? And how do we know they've done it? How do we?
Everybody. That's probably the difference between blue and red, is that the red believe that it is up to individuals, and they need to step up.
Let me put it this way, Phil. Your life is on the line because you are compromised physically. But what I'm saying is, do you really want to trust that somebody who has a store that you go into, has done everything possible, and that you're going to be able to go in there safely?
But let me say this. I go into restaurants to get a sandwich to go or something like that now. I'm going into supermarkets to buy food. I'm going to the gas station. I'm going to a number of auto repair shops. I'm already doing that.
You keep breaking up on us, Phil.
Can I just interrupt for a second? Because Phil's getting blocked out, I think, because somebody's mic is blowing air or something like that. And no, I don't think. Oh, is it yours? If it was yours, then I don't think you'd be getting blocked out.
No, I haven't created something I have to do a mix minus.
See, now he's fine. Now he's fine.
Yeah, I have a big fan. It was hot in here.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out, Rob. So I'm already going into stores, and there are certain things. I mean, I don't go to bars anyway. So if
Phil, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, your life is in the hands of somebody else doing what's right, and how much do you trust that? That's the point. Let me go to Todd because wait a minute, Todd has had his hand up, and I want to have Todd talk. Yes, Todd.
All right.
All right, hello. Can you guys hear me? I'm using my computer instead of my phone.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Because hopefully I look different this time.
You look fine. But anyway.
You look
all right. Okay, Phil. Thank you, my brother. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
I got news for all of you. I have a friend of mine that is in D.C. She is a nurse, and she came down with the coronavirus. She is a very good friend of mine, and yet her husband is all in a whole bunch of things where he needs to have, what's the word I'm looking for, dialysis. And he's blind now. So her job, will not let her do anything. Will not give her any money or anything like that. and on top of that, I hopefully they're not listening because I really didn't ask permission to be saying it.
Yeah.
But the mother of my man, you know what I mean, that's blind now, won't even come around because his son's daughter came through with with the virus, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that she wouldn't even come around there to take care of her son.
Mm-hmm.
So now while she's got to deal with the virus, she's got to drop her husband over for dialysis and got to go do some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why isn't he
and she's not getting no money from a job that won't pay her nothing.
Why isn't he in the hospital if he has dialysis? It needs dialysis, and she.
He's been like that for he's been out there for a while, bro.
No, I understand. She can't take him. If she takes him, she's compromising other people.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, Phil, but I do not know if she's contagious. See, what I know is that she had to go get that chloroquine or whatever the hell it's called that Trump was talking about. And I was like, oh, snap. And she's still alive?
Brian, do you know if somebody that got the virus is contagious, or they aren't contagious until they start, puking up and stuff?
No idea.
Oh, it looks like Jeff might know.
Yeah,
Phil, really? Phil?
I know a little bit about dialysis.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because my dad had dialysis. And this is a kind of disease that you never get rid of. You got it for the rest of your life until you die. And you're going to die early.
It's part of diabetes?
No.
Yeah.
Kidney problem.
No, it's loss of kidney.
Kidney function.
Diabetes kills off the kidney.
Well, it could, yes.
Well,
that's one of the ways.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's
Kathleen,
dysfunction.
turn on your camera, will you please? Are you there?
Usually people who have dialysis have to go in to a special place 3 times a week.
Right.
And during the time, they're often there for 3 hours, 4 hours, where their blood is being cleaned out, if you want to call it. It's not a good life, I got to tell you.
No.
And
That's
at
what my
the
wife
end of
does
the
for a
day,
living.
you're wiped out.
Wait a minute. Rob says that's what his wife does for a living.
Yeah, she's the dialysis technician. And she's losing patients all the time.
Well, of course.
People who come in 3-4 times a week, they sit there at that machine.
So what was the point you were trying to make, Phil?
That Todd's friend's wife, who is taking him, the husband, to dialysis, is exposing other patients and the dialysis workers to the virus. And is there some other way that this man can get the services he needs without causing the wife to expose other people to her virus?
Well, first of all, they're not letting in where my wife works. You go in, they meet you at the car. They do a temperature on you, and then no family members can go in. Just the person can go in and get their treatment and leave. And it would be a disservice just driving, even if you don't get out of the car. You would be exposing that person to the virus just by being near them, and they're highly susceptible.
In the same car. So that's why I was just asking, is there another way that your friend's husband can get there, or maybe go into a hospital so that his wife doesn't have to infect everybody else?
We don't know that she isn't doing something like that.
Well,
she's not getting in to infect everybody else. Believe me, they're not letting her in.
And if she's a nurse, she probably knows what she's doing in that respect, and she's probably taking the precautions.
I don't know. Todd's got his hand
Yes,
up
Todd.
again.
Well, I'm trying to answer that question. Well, she is taking a whole lot of precautions. I'm new to using the computer instead of the phone, so I guess I'm really not old, but then again, I'm young, but I'm old with the technology, so I apologize.
Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, she's taking all the precautions and everything like that, but at the same time, she has to do what she has to do because the family and everybody else and her job and nobody is helping. That's what I was trying to explain in the beginning, but I was letting all y'all talk because I didn't know if anybody heard everything, what I was trying to say.
Hey, Brian, is there a new test out that you could administer yourself and get results right away? I heard.
No, there's one you can take at home that they're coming out with, but then you have to send it in somewhere, and it's 2 days.
Oh.
Yeah. Every test you still have to send in, unless you're point of care. If you're point of care, then that's different. But Theranos tried that, right? Theranos tried to have the home box you could bring.
Yeah.
And they failed.
Yes. Charlie?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, go ahead, Brian. Finish, and then Charlie.
Oh, no. So I just had one question, maybe for Vernon. So you're at Home Depot. I think one of our biggest challenges we have at our work, we have hundreds of people working during the day. We're giving out free food for lunches, so we're trying to give some back to the employees. But like break times, I mean, people have 2 breaks, and then they have their lunch break. And you're in. We have a cafeteria, and now we're trying to spread everything apart. We have some conference rooms. We're trying to do that. So how did they do that at Home Depot? Because I know. When you guys say you're risking, when you go to the, you see everybody at the store, either masked up or with gloves and all that stuff, but break times and stuff, everybody gets back together and there's a big risk there.
Well, what we're doing at my store is we are social distancing at the tables, and there's also a training room adjacent to the lunch break room, and some people will go in there where they can sit farther apart and eat their lunch. You're right. I wear a mask. Yeah, microwaves are there. And I wear gloves and I wear a mask when I'm out on the floor. However, like you said, when I go to the break room, I take off the mask and I take off my gloves. Yeah. But when I do that, after I take off my gloves, then I'll wash my hands thoroughly or douse it with the hand sanitizer, rinse them off, pat them dry with some paper towels before I'll eat my food. Now, going back to what I was saying about Kentucky, one of the reasons I think that Kentucky's rates are so much lower than the surrounding states is that we reacted earlier than those states did in terms of stay-at-home orders. And the other thing is, even though we've tested over 36,000 tests in the state of Kentucky, that's less than 1% of the population. And if we go back to work, if they lift that stay-at-home order, there's going to be more and more interactions, and there will have to be more and more tests in order to keep this from giving us another hit.
Okay, let me see here. Charlie has his hand up. Yes, Charlie. Hello, Bree.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that Phil asked earlier, do we know if people are spreading the disease without having symptoms? And we do know for a fact, yes. Up to 14 days you can be spreading the disease before you show symptoms. Some people only a couple of days, but it can be as much as 14 days. We've known that for months.
Brian, am I
even
right?
before it got to the U.S.
Would I be wrong in saying this, Brian, that you can actually get it, be asymptomatic, and then resolve without even knowing you had resolved?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing that they're really interested in trying to get data from to see how many people actually had that and didn't have symptoms.
Right.
Hey, Brian, the first person to have the coronavirus, they're saying, was in Santa Clara County.
Yeah.
And it was February 6th.
Right over there. Yeah.
Right.
I'm in Santa Clara County, but yeah.
Right across the street. Yeah.
It was the first person to die from it. It was the first person to die from it. The first person that got it in Seattle did not die from it. They gave him Remdesivir or whatever that is, and he survived. Okay.
Yeah. Our first case was January 20th in the U.S.
Yeah. So. It's been a pretty fast rise, hasn't it? I mean, it's amazing because I look at the graph that I was showing earlier here, and it just goes straight up, and then it's going straight down now. Yes, Charlie. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, another thing is that, I keep hearing a lot of these conservatives talking about the flu and how it kills 60,000 people a year or something like that. Well, you have to realize that this coronavirus, right now, the rate it's killing people is more than 60,000 people per month. It's much worse than the flu ever was. I mean, we have almost 1 million people dying. There are 2,500 people in the United States alone dying every day. Do the math.
Well,
that's 75,000 people a month.
I got my paperwork today to get the 52,000, so I signed it and sent it back.
Well, what does that have to do with what we were just saying?
Well, I'll get funded in 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Now, next month, instead of the virus, I want locusts, and maybe they'll have another PPP program.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. These idiots who keep saying, "Oh, more flu kills more people every year than this thing does." I got news for you. Not even close. Not even close. And worldwide, when you look at that number, what did I see again? Was the number that I put out worldwide? I gotta redo this so I can get the worldwide total.
180,000
dead. Okay, dead from this flu. 183,000. Okay, I think that's more than die of the flu every year. Okay, and the percentages are quite much higher too. Bree, I wanted to hear from you because last night on the Jack show, you were saying that you felt that we were handling it all wrong.
Well, I guess my question is, what is the plan in the U.S.? Because,
there is no plan.
I still don't get a sense of a plan.
There are 50 plans.
Trump doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, well, you can't. Unfortunately, with this, if you look at it from, one room to another, let's say that my plan is to stay in my room, but my family members are not following that plan and they're walking around and coming in, then it's no plan, So, yeah. I mean, unless the states are able to secure all their borders and, I don't know. I see every day when I log into YouTube, I see the, White House briefing, 1 hour, 47 minutes. White House briefing, 2 hours, White House briefing. And I just, but I don't watch them. I just see them piling up there. And then I just see the numbers going up. And, oh, there's a new hotspot here. Oh, we didn't know that. Oh, we got to report this. It doesn't seem like the's any plan. It just seems like it's totally Wild West.
What's interesting, Bree, if you get a chance and if it's possible for you, watch Cuomo's briefings. They're about 45 minutes, and in that 45 minutes, he packs into the more information. You get more scientific information and a knowledge of how these things spread more than you'll ever watch in those 2.5 tirades that go on every day that are more political rallies than they are coronavirus updates. Yes, Brian.
It's funny because I think I mentioned this before, is Cuomo's looks like a business. He goes through the charts. He talks about the data. He has stuff like "Don't be stupid" or whatever he said today. And he has those up on the board for everybody to read and listen to him. Mm-hmm. Where you have Trump, who's a businessman, and he just doesn't take this, I guess, into that business kind of mode where we like seeing that.
Yeah. Yes, Bree.
So what is the plan from if you're in New York? And you don't have any income, and you have rent due, and you're running out of food. Mm-hmm. What's the plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wear a mask, get a gun.
Because seriously, this is. I think what's happening right now is it's kind of like climate change in a way. People are not putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. We're just dealing with what we have to deal with right now. But what people don't read.
Aren't they paying unemployment and some other thing? Even if you don't qualify for unemployment, you apply, they say, and then when you're turned down, you automatically go over to a different screen, which is for the coronavirus unemployment. And I think they give you $450 from the state and $600 from the Fed weekly. So
my question is, Phil,
how long is that going to
where's the state going to get the money?
Well, part of this recent
where
PPE,
are the states going to get their part of the money?
Well, the same way they'll borrow it, just like everybody else does.
No, they can't print it up, Phil. They can't print it up
They're
like
not
Trump is.
It. They can borrow it.
Trump is putting
The
it on
states
the.
cannot operate like that.
No,
I'm telling you,
I heard they could.
we're not putting the pieces together. No one is seeing the big picture of of it's just a major collapse. And at some point, Cuomo's there reading numbers and saying, and this is he's kind of like MASH, on the front line there, but he's not looking at the overall war. The overall picture is really dismal, and we need some leadership, and we need them to be coordinating. And I don't see it happening.
Yeah. States have to get the money from the feds.
Well, that's part of the thing that Cuomo told Trump yesterday, is that they're giving out all this money, but they're not giving any money to the states. And the states are the ones who are now putting out all the money for the testing and the this and the that. And then on top of that, they got to pay the police, and they got to pay the fire department, and they got to pay the infrastructure, and they don't have that money. So what happens?
The towns are starting to release their people locally now, because they're starting to dig into their budgets locally.
And also, I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was who said it, but yes, it was Mitch. I think it was Mitch McConnell, who said, "Well, the state should then declare bankruptcy."
And then what?
That's his solution, folks.
I didn't hear that.
Well, just because you didn't hear it doesn't mean he didn't say it.
Oh, that's been your.
I heard it. I heard it.
So I heard, you talk about what you hear, and if you're listening to conservative media versus liberal media, if you want to look at it that way, some of the things you hear on conservative media, for example, Rush Limbaugh said, "I don't know why this is such a big deal. This is COVID-19. We've had 18 prior to this. This is not so out of the way."
Yeah, Conway said the same thing.
I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
Not COVID-1, yeah.
They don't understand that it's 2019.
They don't listen to science.
So where you hear things.
I think they were trying to say that we should have been more prepared for COVID-19 because there was 18 prior to it.
Now you're doing what people do about Trump, trying to explain stupidity. You're not going to explain away stupidity.
Today I was listening to Trump's little. We watch him until we can't bear it anymore, and then we go over to the news, and it's amazing how he one day says something and then the next day completely contradicts it. All of a sudden, I always knew this was a problem, and I always knew. He didn't even, he was saying, he said today, I know what he said today. He said, you got to realize, something I've known for a long time, this is not like this is not the common flu. This is a very special kind of flu. And then I suddenly remember him saying that, this flu is no different than any other flu.
It's going to go away in April.
It's going to go away in April. Once the warm weather gets here.
The miracle, you missed the miracle. There's no problem. This is like the cold, or that's all it is.
Yeah,
it's the common cold, folks.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You can keep taking sound bites from months earlier.
These are things he said, Phil. These are things he said. These are tweets he makes. These are actual things that are on the record, Phil.
You want to talk?
Supplying them.
Want to let me finish my statement?
Because you're gonna try and defend the indefensible.
Difference. That's my position. But
it's a stupid one.
You learn new things every day, and sometimes your opinion from 2 months ago changes.
Well,
so
can he change? Can he change his opinion about what was that drug that he was touting?
Yeah,
hydroxychloroquine
that has killed several people because of his saying, "Hey, this looks like it's a good idea. Couldn't hurt." That was the term he used in his press conference. Couldn't hurt.
What do you got to lose? He said, "What do you got to lose?"
There are more studies, including the French study, that shows that the doses with obese people and diabetic people require different doses.
Phil, let's say I don't know that that's true or not true, but let's say it is true for a moment. Trump is not a doctor; he doesn't know that. And for people who hear him say it, they could be an obese person and go take the pill.
Have you ever believed anything that Trump said?
No, but you have, and so
doctors prescribed this stuff.
All right, because your boy says it was great. If you were to get COVID, would you take that?
Possibly, if my doctor prescribed it, and I trust my doctor, even though he's with Kaiser.
That's not a reason to trust him.
Well, the thing is, it's going to be up to the doctor whether or not he gives me the drug or not. It's not something I can just go down to the store and say, "Give me a Zithromax."
It's like Larry Bubbles Brown says. Kaiser is doctor-assisted suicide. Anyway, yes, Brian, and then Bree. Yes.
So he talked about Georgia today. So Georgia, in a couple of days, they're going to open up tattoo parlors, nails, hair, and all that stuff. And he sat there today and said that I told the governor I completely disagree with him opening up in a few days. But then he goes back and says, if there are any mayors that are going, and doing some crazy stuff, I will step in and stop it. But I totally disagree with what Georgia's doing, and I told him that several times. But they're going to open in a couple of days. The tattoo parlors, he repeated that whole phrase 2 times.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's not stepping in there and telling Georgia they cannot do that.
I got to get my nails done. I'm going to Georgia.
He doesn't have the power.
Yes, he doesn't have the power. Bree?
He doesn't have it.
Bree?
Well, I just wanted to share a new word that I learned today. It's called ultra-crepidarian. And it is a person who offers opinions beyond their own knowledge.
Sentence.
I posted it on the chat on YouTube so you can see it.
Well, in Trump's case, it's crapidarian, but it's things like that just drive me insane. And then how he just pedals back. I mean, and people will ask him questions, say, a week ago you said blah blah blah, but now you're saying blah blah blah, and then he does some kind of like word salad. And then he immediately goes, and now you ask me a question, and just avoids that reporter, because if that reporter follows up on the question, he's in big trouble. And
sounds like a talk show host.
He's doing the top. Phil, we're having a discussion here that the joke doesn't even play. Okay. This man is killing people and has killed people by his inaction. Yes, Todd. Let me go to Todd. Yes, Todd.
I just was curious. Was Phil acting up? Was Phil acting up?
Yeah, you're gonna go pimp slap him for me, please.
Phil, okay, I'm backing up Alex, my man Bennett. You behave yourself, young man. Now I'm gonna go back off here. Stop it, sir. Stop it.
Don't kiss ass.
What? What'd you
Don't
say?
kiss ass.
Don't what? What'd he say?
He said, "Don't kiss his ass."
No, I'm never do that. I'm asking you not to be. I'm asking you to be a nice person.
I was a nice person. I just told it like it is, kind of the way.
I heard since I've not been on around here. I've been watching old tapes. You've been a real mean son of a gun. Now you behave yourself, sir. Do not make me come to your house. And I will take your bullet from you. Stop it.
I'll tell you something. Something that happened today was, I think it was Scarfy was up there. I call her Scarfy. I can't remember what her name is now, but the woman who always wears this.
Bricks.
Dr. Bricks.
B-R-I-X.
Yes, Dr. Scarfy. Dr. Scarfy. And she was giving some kind of information, and Trump didn't agree with the information, so he was trying to jump in and give his version of what she was saying, but that wasn't what she was saying, and she kept trying to retry to say it, and did anybody see this going on? And he just kept going, but it's really blah, 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 right? You know, and he can't, you know, today, when was it? Cuomo, at least once a day, goes, hey, if you want to blame me, then blame me. It's my fault. The buck stops here. Okay? He goes, you know, he says, if you think I'm full of it, I am. Or yesterday I said something, but I shouldn't have said that because I was mistaken when I said. He admits to mistakes. Okay? And we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and we can all be forgiven for making mistakes. But to deny your mistakes and to know your mistakes and to then deny them is, in this particular case, criminal. Okay?
That's a leader. That's a leader.
Yeah, that's a
leader. Definition of a sociopath.
I think that.
Yes, absolutely. Wait a minute. Listen to Vernon. What did Vernon just say, Phil?
The definition of a sociopath.
Yeah.
I think
it's all about him. He doesn't care about anything else except himself.
Well, you have
the definition of a sociopath, and how you could take the advice or how you could back up a man who is a sociopath by definition is beyond me.
Sociopath. You want to repeat it one more time, Vernon? What is he?
What?
A sociopath? Look,
he's a sociopath.
5, 6 times now. Hey, if Trump admitted to something, it's like giving him rope and letting him hang himself, because the media would jump on it immediately. And if he retracted or admitted he was wrong, if you had a fair media, you wouldn't have this kind of behavior. But he can't.
If you didn't have Fox News, you wouldn't get the kind of crap you're getting out of him. Fox, he repeats everything Fox News says.
If I didn't have Fox News, I wouldn't know the truth.
Fox had to walk back coronavirus. Fox walked back coronavirus. If you watch their broadcasts, it's all over the place. Watch their broadcasts from March and February.
Short memory. What about our friend Nancy Pelosi, who was in Chinatown saying there's nothing to worry about, it's just a cold?
When was that?
There's video of Nancy Pelosi back in.
When that was?
She didn't say that. She has simply been accused of going to and she said that.
Yes.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't, Phil. No, she did not, Phil. Find me the video, and I will go look at it later.
Next, if I'll send it to you.
But don't send it to me now because I'm doing a show. But send it to me later, and I want to hear her saying that. But what she's accused of is going to Chinatown when this whole thing was starting to happen in February. Right. And I looked at Marjorie and I said, I'm from San Francisco. I know what Chinatown is. It's not like it's China, okay? You know, you go there on the Chinese New Year, and you, as the local representative, the congresswoman from the area, you go and wave to everybody and say, "Hey, how are you?" and everything. You know, have a good time. That's what you do. But it doesn't. That isn't where the virus suddenly spread. Was from Chinatown in San Francisco.
But she was telling you not to social distance and to go and get into the crowd.
I want to see the tape. I want to see it.
Okay, I'll send you the tape later.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Bree.
We can have fun. We can talk, and I'm glad we have these sessions. Doesn't matter. The virus doesn't matter. It's not concerned with what we say. The numbers are going up, and more people are dying. Mm-hmm. And until that stops, we're going to keep having these discussions or debates. And the thing is that I don't even know if a vaccine, is possible. It just seems like from right now, it's just going to continue on and on until everything collapses.
Bree, are the numbers going up everywhere? Bree, are the numbers going up everywhere?
Well,
down. In the United States, yes, it is going up in a lot of places where previously has not been going up this much. Where we're going down now, we're now not the canary in the coal mine. We were the canary in the coal mine, but now you go down to where there really are coal mines, and it's rising, Phil. It's going up.
West Virginia, Georgia, South Dakota, and one other state was talking about opening up to businesses and so forth because they had some cases. Most of them were in assisted care facilities, but they're saying, hey, we don't have a lot of cases. We can open up and or start to open up, with reason. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe in New York and
I see a lot wrong with that, Phil, because the reason why it hasn't been going up is because they have closed these things down. And the minute they open them up, I'm sorry, you're going to start seeing those numbers go precipitously high.
Well, the governor of South Dakota, she made a case for opening up, and it sounded pretty good to me. The thing is, I've never been to South Dakota. I'm never going to go to South Dakota. I don't have a problem with them opening up.
Yeah, and if they open up, there may not ever be a South Dakota. Look, here's the point I'm making, Phil. The reason a lot of these states have kept it down is because they were not the people who were on the cutting edge of getting this. They weren't on the firing line. They were on the edges of it. Now, because they've shut down, they've kept this thing from spreading in their states. The minute they open it up, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but the minute they open it up, they are now giving the virus an opportunity to spread. And then they're going to see a larger spread in their states.
What if a few of them get on a plane and come out here?
South Dakota, they don't even know about planes. Hey, I guess we'll see in those 4 states.
Well, you got to make a joke about South Dakota. That's your answer to your whole problem.
Whether opening up certain businesses are going to make a difference. Here's 4 states. You can test and you can see whether or not the cases increase or don't. Yeah. And if they do increase, you shut it down.
Somebody has their hand in front of their face, and I can't see who they are, but they have it up. Oh, it's Brian. Okay, not Brian, but Vernon. Vernon? Yes, Vernon.
One of the things that Bree said that scares the bejesus out of me is what happens when this starts impacting our food chain. What happens with, like in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Smithfield meatpacking plant produced half of the state's coronaviruses in 1 week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they had to shut down that meat processing plant. 30 miles down the road in Minnesota, there's another meat processing plant. And some of the people who worked at both of those plants drove back and forth. It's 30 miles between them, but there were people working at both of those plants. And then all of a sudden, they got massive infections.
Rob has his hand up.
So I found your details, Phil, regarding what Pelosi's remarks were. They were made on February 24th. And when did we close down everything? Was March 15th or 16th?
Closed China. January 31st, we closed China.
When did we close here in this country? Spring training was underway, basketball, and football, hockey was underway.
Okay. Bay Area.
To begin with, Phil, let him finish. Will you let him finish?
Right.
Will you let him finish? And then you can rebut him.
From that point, and really all she was doing was she was being asked about the prejudice going on with Asian American Asian American businesses being boycotted, people staying away. And she said, that's why I went to Chinatown today, to show it's not just Asian American businesses. It happens everywhere. If you read, it's a long answer, but the bottom line is she wasn't dissing the coronavirus and what it is. She's saying it's not just Asian American business. You could get it anywhere. Once you read through, it's like a 3.5 paragraph answer. That's what she was saying. Okay. Not that there's nothing and you shouldn't worry. It was about Asian American businesses. The question was framed around the prejudice in Asian American businesses that was cropping up. That's what it was all about.
We had two hands up. Bree was first, and then Kevin. Yes, Bree.
So I just wanted to let you know, this is a message we got yesterday night. I don't know if it's reversed or if you can see it or not.
We can see it. We can see it. Okay.
We can see it. So that's the English version they send out in their language. But they had to send out a message. It says, the government regularly monitors supply of essentials, generally enough supply. So we're already getting messages like there could be something wrong with the food supply. Generally, there's enough, but that's just now. And I don't see that they're going to end this. The lockdown is probably going to continue. They say they're basing it on science here. So this is happening.
What if they hoard? That's, I think, where they're talking about generally. If you just, if you don't hoard, look, we did the toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
That hoarding was a month ago.
But they'll hoard. But if they tell you that the food supplies are going to dry up, then, or generally it's okay, then all of a sudden you got people that say, "Oh, like you, generally it's okay. I better go stock up." And then it's
what are you trying to say, Phil? You're not making any sense here.
Well, I'm saying,
and also Kevin had his.
I'm telling you, the order that society's going to collapse.
Kevin,
because
let me go to Kevin here because he had his hand up a while back. Yes, Kevin.
I was just going back on the previous subject, and you may have talked about it, but you do know about the first two out here in Santa Clara that they discovered were on February 2nd that they found out that were COVID positive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those were not even. Those are community. They were not traveled. The 2nd and the 16th, I think it was.
Yeah, and I think
two people that
they did not travel. They did not travel to China. Charlie.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we talk about opening up and then spreading the disease. There have been at least 7 cases of COVID that are directly connected to people in Wisconsin voting.
Yes.
Because they had to vote in person. At least 7 cases where people who went to vote contracted the disease there.
Who did they vote for?
Doesn't matter.
I don't understand that because, people go into Costco, they go into stores. Why can't they? Why is it that the voting is so different? You keep the social distance. Wasn't Wisconsin set up?
Well,
with
to be fair about it, to be
people in line, and
to be fair about
I don't understand.
To be fair about it, Rob, is that they think they got it there. They do not know yet. They have not been able to fully investigate it. But that number of people who went to that particular precinct came away from that precinct and got ill. Now, whether they already had it when they went there, and if they did, then maybe they spread it to other people. Also, this whole thing about 6 feet distance is pretty well been refuted because I've seen tests they've done where they can show that a good sneeze can make this thing fly about 25 feet. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah. I think there's another video out there that shows like a 12-foot sneeze or something like that, where they sneeze and you see how the particles go. Yeah,
and those masks do not protect you really from the particles. What it does, it really protects other people from you. And hopefully, if they're wearing one, you're then protected by them. So that's how that one works. But these things only, I think, it's so many microns that can get through. And if somebody were to sneeze in your face, it's going to penetrate that mask. And by the way, the N95s aren't much better. They're just a different mask.
Brian just put on a mask, and I think it's an N95. I have an N95.
No, that's a surgical mask.
Had those.
Oh, mine's got like a metal thing on top. It's got a little breathing apparatus. Do those things work? That looks pretty thin, Brian.
That's a surgical mask.
This is a bad one that we had, and I grabbed one. This is a really bad one. You have the lighter, you do the test, you have the lighter, you blow, and you blow out, and this one you can blow it out.
I have one like that, but I blew out of it, and it did not put the lighter out, so it didn't even.
There's a blue one we have now that you cannot. But one of the big things also is that somebody just pushed out that guy Bright, right? The guy Bright, he's the one who said that the stuff that Trump was pushing, that it wasn't, clinically said that it saved lives, and he's one of the top vaccination or vaccine guys.
He was in charge of the vaccine program.
And did you hear what he said at the press conference today?
Trump?
Oh, he didn't know. Who?
They asked him, didn't know him, don't know who, anything, and nobody questioned him about it after that.
The hydrochloroquine thing that they were referring to was a group of 20 people in a veterans hospital, and these people were near death anyway. And they died, or many of them died.
Yes, they died of cardiac arrest. They died of cardiac arrest, Phil, which is a symptom of dying from this drug.
And
Phil, did you hear what I
the
said?
Other study of 800 people.
Yes, but what they do is they give you an electrocardiogram to determine, or an EKG to determine whether or not you have heart problems in the first place, and you shouldn't take this drug.
Phil, this drug is not to begin with. Most tests have shown it doesn't work. Period.
Would you bet?
I'm on my deathbed.
Look, you think Brian knows more than you do, Phil? Do you think Brian knows? Wait a minute.
There's no improvement.
Yeah.
There's just no improvement. And that's
it's
what
like
Trump
any
was
other
saying,
drug.
take this.
It's like any other drug. It has worked on some people, and it doesn't work on other people, and it's probably worked on some, but not more.
And
that's the whole thing.
And
if they're going to use it on some people, they can't use it on. If it works on, if it only works on a few people, they're not going to work it on most of the population.
Yeah. And Phil,
do that.
Phil, do you know what?
Just like with my leg,
oh yeah,
I had drugs that they used on all kinds of people, but it didn't work on me, so I got numb legs. I used an antibiotic that everybody uses all the time, but they screwed me up. So it's the same thing with any drug. There's consequences with any drug.
I think what you're
works
talking
on
about
some
here,
people, but it'll fuck you up. You either live or you die.
What you're talking about here, Kevin.
Choice to make.
What you're talking about here, Kevin and Phil. Do you know what the word anecdotal means?
Yes.
What?
It's it's not exactly what it's supposed to be.
No. Anecdotal evidence is that, yes, you used this and it worked on somebody, but you didn't do it in enough controlled circumstances to find out that the person didn't just get well on his own, or that the drug did it. And that's why that's why up until now that drug has been anecdotal. Now they're starting to see proof that it doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, this Rezivir also is anecdotal, but nobody's died from it.
Has anyone been familiar with the French study that they did, and the fact that in France they used far higher doses of the hydrochloroquine than they did in the States, and in a French study they said it worked.
I'll listen to the VA study that just took place.
The VA study was only 20 patients, and they were near death anyway.
Well, they're not now.
I'm asking if anyone is familiar with the French study, because I have a limited knowledge of what.
And I believe they said that two of them didn't. It wasn't that two of them died. It was that two of them died as a result of the drug they gave them.
And it wasn't because they were near death anyway.
No. I think there were other people in that study as well who died, but they didn't say they died from the drug.
The percentage of people who died, they did a control group, and the percentage of people who died in the control group was lower than in the group taking the drug.
That was on the French study, or the
I think on the other study,
the Veterans Hospital.
Yeah.
All right, but there was only 20 people in that study.
Well, they had a control group. I think they had 20 and 20. 20 people who got a placebo and 20 people who got the drug, and the percentage of people who died was higher in the drug group.
Listen, I'd like to hear what your daughter has to say. She probably has more to say about it than is of value than Phil.
Yeah.
She wants a candy. She wants a
Don't we all? Wish it would all go away with the candy.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, Brian.
With my friend. Yes.
Are you hoarding the candies?
Baby, go. Yes, go. What was that, Phil?
Are you hoarding the candies?
Am I what?
Hoarding the candies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here.
Ah.
By the way,
Those Kit Kats.
speaking of toilet paper, since that is part of the subject, after all,
Yeah.
Damn.
Marjorie went to the store and could buy the only toilet paper they had the first time, which was 1-ply. Now, 1-ply should be illegal by law. Okay? All right. But then the second time, the only thing she could get was 3-ply. Have you ever tried 3-ply?
I think Oprah has.
It's a little too soft. It's just, yeah. I'm a 2-ply guy, okay? Plain and simple.
Or be worse. You know, if it's 2 of the same thing and then 3 of the same thing, don't you get more 3?
Yeah. But the bottom line on this whole thing is, we got a real shit show going on here. I mean, this is, in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like it, and I don't think any of you have seen anything like this in your lifetime. I mean, we've seen things like 9/11, and we went, wow, we've never seen anything like that in our lifetime. But then this comes along, and you go, nothing like this, nothing even close. And worldwide, the numbers are just astounding.
9/11 was localized. This is everywhere. It's worldwide.
Yeah, but when you think that worldwide there are 183,336 deaths as of this moment, you got to go, this is horrible.
Everybody that dies is attributed to the coronavirus. So you get hit by a car, it was the coronavirus.
No, Phil.
Oh, come on. Stop with the bullshit.
There's all kinds of people who probably died from it, but never got tested, so we don't know.
Would have been interesting if this happened under Obama.
Or you have somebody like my next door neighbor who died because of the coronavirus, but not because she got the coronavirus, but because she couldn't seek competent medical help when she went into sepsis because all the hospitals were full. And because I remember they called an ambulance in the morning, and at 10 o'clock at night, the cops were still out there waiting for the ambulance to show up, but by that time she was dead. Okay? So
she was dead already, and they were just there.
They called for the ambulance while she was still alive. Maybe if under normal circumstances she could have gotten to the hospital in time for them to save her life, but she didn't. And so I have to attribute that to the coronavirus, even though it wouldn't show up in the statistics. Yes, Bree, quickly.
In Pittsburgh, at the University of Pittsburgh, there was a well-known institution called the original hot dog shop. It's been there since forever, like at least 60 years. It's closed, and they, attributed it to the economics of the situation. And for an institution that's been there for 60 years, that everybody knew and loved, and it's gone, as a result. And I see that just happening everywhere.
But a hot dog shop, Bree, could do takeout easily. Why? You would think.
Know. They were famous for their fries and their hot dogs. You can look it up, and I just spent countless nights there, surviving eating their food. It was cheap and good, and when I was an undergrad, for it to go out. But I think that I don't know what the numbers are, but you're going to definitely see a large percentage of businesses going out because of this, and probably restaurants, will be there.
Yeah.
A lot of major retailers are going to fold also.
I don't think we've. The theme is playing, and I don't think we've heard. Have you said anything tonight, Jeff?
Not at all.
Okay.
Just about dialysis.
Business, even when times are good.
Well, then I'm going to thank you first of all, okay? Because you've been very good on tonight's show. Thank you to everybody, and let me just go through the people here that are here. Hold on a second. This damn computer lately is just getting to me. Okay. First of all, wait a minute. Oh, this is ridiculous. Come here. I can't get to the page. I want to see everybody so I can view them. Brian, thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Vernon. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Kevin. Hey, That's pretty good. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you. That's our citizens panel, folks. Goodbye. See you later. Okay, there they go. That's them. Okay, sorry, I have certain problems with my computer reacting to my mouse for a moment there. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with a little thing he likes to call the intersection. He'll be up next, so if you want to call him, you can be part of the citizen panel. In the meantime, I will be here again tomorrow night. As I always like to say, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice night.